Welcome to another edition of Dad's Divorce Live. I'm Matt Allen, editor of DadsDivorce.com. We're doing a series of interviews with the featured speakers at the upcoming Parental Alienation Conference taking place October 2nd and 3rd in New York City. The conference is titled Parental Alienation Syndrome, Past, Present, and Future, and is geared towards mental health and family law professionals, but is open to the public who wants to learn more about parental alienation. For DadsDivorce.com readers, you can receive free tickets to the event, which is a $200 value, by emailing me at info@dadsdivorce.com. The first 20 people to email me will receive those free tickets. Discounted tickets are also available to DadsDivorce.com readers, again, just by emailing me at info@dadsdivorce.com. For more information on the conference, the Canadian Symposium for Parental Alienation Syndrome, please visit the website www.cspas.ca. Today I'm joined by Dr. Terrence Campbell, one of the keynote speakers, who will discuss the ways parental alienation should be assessed. So Dr. Campbell, thank you for joining us.
Well, you're most welcome.
Now, first off, your speech is titled, Do Mental Health Professionals Disregard Scientific Evidence? Could you give us a brief overview on your speech and what your points will be?
Well, too often mental health professionals will resort to what they call their clinical judgment in assessing issues in general and assessing family dynamics in divorce in particular. As they resort to their clinical judgment, they overlook objective evidence. And too often they lose their objectivity and get themselves inducted as the ally of one of the parties in a divorce case. And under those circumstances, mental health professionals can create more problems than they solve.
An alienating parent is ultimately defying the court system, and the courts do have the power to slap them with contempt. So why doesn't that occur more often if parents are they know that contempt is an option? Why does it happen so frequently?
Because it is an option too often only in theory. The saying is the wheels of justice grind very, very slowly. And unfortunately, that is true. And the dynamics of alienation can ensue very, very rapidly. So cases of alienation can rapidly spiral out of control while court systems responding to rules of evidence react very, very slowly, and alienating parents too often are in a position where they can do whatever they want to do whenever they want to do it because the court systems respond so slowly.
Now, unfortunately, we see many cases of the alienating parent will almost win, if you will, as upsetting as it sounds. So even though alienation does occur frequently, I guess why don't we see it more often or almost in all divorce cases involving children?
Good question, because if we stop and think, divorce is inevitably one of the most tragic events anybody can encounter in their life. As a result of divorce, people feel angry, hurt, overwhelmed, betrayed, and we would expect that people would be more inclined to regard their ex-spouse as bitter enemies than they actually do.
Right.
What happens, thank goodness, what happens, in the majority of cases, divorcing spouses are able to make a discrimination. They make a discrimination in terms of saying to themselves, he or she may have been a blanking blank blank to be married to, but he or she is the only dad or the only mom that the kids are going to have. And things will go better for the kids if they can have a decent relationship with him or her. So at that point, what people are doing is they're discriminating what this person was like to whom I was married, what this person was like as a spouse, versus what this person is like as a parent.
Mm-hmm.
And when people can make that kind of a discrimination, the likelihood of alienation is quite low. When people cannot make that kind of discrimination, the likelihood of alienation soars.
Well, finally, your speech is geared towards mental health professionals and family law professionals, but since the conference is open to the general public, what can they expect to get out of your speech?
That, one, to emphasize the profoundly counterproductive impact of alienation, no matter how angry you will be or you might be with your ex-spouse. If your children are alienated from your ex-spouse, you've done a serious disservice to your children. So that would be the message for the public in general. The message for professionals would be the time has come to apply the relevant scientific data to issues of alienation and retreat from our clinical judgment, because our clinical judgment as professionals will so often mislead us.
Well, there's some great reasons for the general public to come too. And again, for our viewers out there, you can email me at info@dadsdivorce.com for free or discounted tickets. So Dr. Campbell, thank you again for joining us. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're very welcome, and thank you for having me on.
Again, that was Dr. Terrence Campbell, one of the keynote speakers at the upcoming Parental Alienation Conference taking place in New York City the first weekend in October. That'll do it for this edition of Dad's Divorce Live. I'm Matt Allen, editor of DadsDivorce.com.